Hey, what's up, everybody? To quote the infamous Eric Thomas, thank God it's Monday! And if you're not hearing this on Monday, it's totally cool. This is always going to be relevant whenever you hear it. If you're open to the messages that are being given to you, there's some way that it will apply to you if you have open mindedness. And real quick, to explain exactly what we're doing here, I'm going to give you the option of picking cards, one, two, or three, and that will be for you specifically. And then I'm going to draw oracle cards that will be more general and open to other people listening. One thing that I would like to say, though, as well, just because you pick, let's say, the two, it doesn't mean you're not going to get messages in the one or the three. All of this stuff has information that any one of us could utilize at any given time. It's important to hear things instead of just listening as well. It's important to really integrate what's being said. And that's for me personally. Maybe that'll resonate with you, maybe it won't. And with that, I'm going to quit rambling and I'm going to get into the Oracle card for this week. You have the gift, and the gift was upside down, so I think it's important to honor that reversal. And the gift aspect of this really is, in one sense, it's our emotions, because that's one of the things that differentiates us from lots of other forms of life, I would say, really. Is the fact that we have such complex emotions. And one of the things is oftentimes we view that as a negative light. Oh, I have this attitude, I have that attitude. But they're really great in the sense that they can keep you on your path, or they can direct you to things that are important, things that aren't important. It's really a matter of how you access them, what you utilize them for, and what you get from them. The other aspect of the gift is ties into last week's card, Alchemy, and in really seeing the light in the darkness. And the light in the darkness concept is really illuminated here with this kind of crystally thing in this purple, this crystally light in the purple. There's also the owl. The owl is definitely about finding things in the darkness. The other aspect of the gift is when you really tap into your spiritual connection, when you really cultivate walking in prayer, as one of my mentors tells me, you begin to get a different experience, and you can begin to really access like all these things up here, kind of like guides. When you refine your personal life and personal practice to such a level, you'll get opportunities other people don't get, and it'll seem like you've been given gifts when really you've cultivated that gift and earned it through the sweat and the effort and investing the time and building that relationship with whatever your higher power or whatever your belief structure would be. And the final thing I'll say on that is the light blue colors is throat chakra, which is communication and listening to hear what's actually being said. So part of the gift is being open to receiving it instead of actively pursuing it or putting it off like you don't deserve it yet. And with that being said, we are going to get into the cards. We're going to start with our threes today. So if you picked a three, this is your card. You got the Queen of Vessels, which is the salmon. Vessels are all about the emotions, so it's interesting that it came up with the gift. I guess I shouldn't say interesting. I should be used to the synchronicities and the complexity of all of this now. Since water is relative to the emotions and it's the salmon too, it's kind of about this concept of going against the stream of your emotions. And it's really important at some points for us to, I don't want to say resist our emotions because that's not the right word, to not identify with our emotions and not be limited by them, because there's going to be times when you feel a certain way for no particular reason, and it's okay to honor that you feel that way and say, this is how I feel. But when you begin to develop impeccability of soul and integrity, you can say, I feel this way, but I still have these responsibilities to accomplish. Or I feel this way and I'm not going to let it limit my ability to achieve so and so. And when you can begin to live in that way, and you can get upstream of these feelings, salmons lay their eggs upstream. You can begin to really fertilize what you want to grow and deposit these seeds of new ideas. And that's how change is going to happen. That's how you're going to get different circumstances in life. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So sometimes you have to go against that stuff. The other element of this card is there is green in it, which is heart chakra, and it's all of this heart that's cultivated from not identifying with emotions. So our heart expands, ironically, the more that we kind of don't attach ourselves to our feelings. And I mean that in the way that we don't always feel good things, and a lot of times we try to suppress the bad things. But if you let the bad things or uncomfortable emotions, is probably a better way to say it, if you let the uncomfortable emotions flow but aren't limited or held back by them, it's going to further refine your heart, and you will have compassion for other people who are experiencing those emotions that you've kind of previously attempted to shut off. And it will change your outlook on life. And there is a huge gift in that, relating it to the Oracle card. I hit the general concept of that. I'm comfortable moving on. And we're going to go to twos this time. And then we have two of bows, the decision. So bows are all about creativity. And it's really important to understand that decisions are the creative principle of something, in the sense that prior to creation, you have to decide that you want to create it, and there's a lot of power in decision, and it shows these two options. There's this man on fire. The fire, again, is the creativity, and it's showing the creativity to achieve two different results. So the decision of choosing one result is great, but the thing that follows decision is action. And without getting into this horrible metaphor of two frogs on a log and jumping off, I'm sure some of you have heard that before, and if not, don't worry about it. It's not important. But without getting into that, like, the action is actually what matters, because you can decide a lot of things, but until you really commit to it, it doesn't make a damn bit of difference what you decide. But it is important to understand that every choice you make has some kind of repercussion in one way, shape, or form. Every action that you take has some repercussion in way, shape, or form. And it's not something to be neurotic or have anxiety about, but there is truth to it. And even not deciding is a decision in and of itself. So when you begin to step into that, you can actually take more personal responsibility for the outcomes of situations. And there is a great gift in taking responsibility of your decisions and the outcomes of situations that arise as a result of your decisions. And one of the super powerful things that I've come to the conclusion of in my life, and I'll say this, I don't always maintain clarity of it, is understanding that everything that I'm viewing in my life right now is the result of my decisions. And you can say, well, what about these other people, or what about this job, or what about these circumstances? Those are all the result of decisions that I've made in what I'm investing my energy and time and focus in. Decisions about where I'm choosing to go, decisions about who I'm choosing to date. Those are all based upon my decisions. And there's so much power in that, in the sense of I am the authority on my life. Like, I am authoring my life, and I can write different results if I so choose to, but as a matter of again, the decision and then taking action. With that, we move into our ones, which is the Knight of Bows, and it is the fox. So bows are all about thought. They're all about how your mind works, thinking. And the fox concept is definitely interesting in the sense that it's about being stealthy and resourceful, but there's also this creative principle represented in the orange of the fox. There's also this purity represented in kind of the whiteness of the fox. So it really is creatively navigating these situations in a tactful and stealthy manner to achieve purity. And there's this huge sense of grace in this fox. There's this sense of openness too. And it's kind of using these difficult circumstances to find this sense of openness in a very, very big way. Because it's like coming out of the thicket to this clearing. And that's one of the great gifts of kind of understanding your own, I don't want to say cunningness, adaptability and stealth, I guess, to move through these difficult situations unharmed, and to really tap into this rich, open hunting ground where you can really find what you're desiring. And with that, we're going to move into the animal spirit card. And we got fish. So it's interesting because I was largely talking about emotions the whole time as a concept of the gift. And we have the fish. So the fish obviously moves through water. Water is emotions, and there's a big element in that. The other aspect of it is that it has this crescent moon. So the moon is about the emotions, the unconscious, the shadow side of things. And to me, this is also talking, the gift aspect of the fish is that when you begin to look at the unconscious, when you begin to integrate your shadow, when you begin to really swim in your emotions and not be limited by them like the salmon, you're going to get such a huge gift in the sense that you're freeing up so much energy. So much of our energy is squandered fighting our shadow in the sense of trying to restrict its ability to do anything. And this is a big failing of the New Age. And being all this love and light, we push our shadow to the back and it works in the background and we're constantly trying to fight it, when really what we need to do is love ourselves and redirect the energy of that shadow into things that are purposeful and meaning for us, and we can begin to achieve things previously we couldn't. And a great example of that in the show is Bleach. I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I'm getting off on a tangent. Let me get back on point. The other element of that too is the red, and it's really kind of infusing the wisdom of the shadow, the wisdom of the unconscious, the wisdom of our emotions into our reality, but then also honoring the fact that there is a cycle in there too, because it's in the moon phase, and that's the ebb and flow of these emotions. They're not going to always be there, so we can sort them out while they're there. Understanding that they won't always be there allows us to not be restricted by them as much. And then also understanding that at times they are going to overwhelm us despite our best efforts. But when we can regain this concept of the cycle, there's a gift in that too. Understanding the concept of cycles in life is something that will liberate you to no end. And to just kind of condense all of this again, there's a huge gift in being able to navigate your emotions and not be restricted by them. There's a huge gift in understanding that you have a choice, and the decisions that you make, all of your life is a result of your decisions. There's a huge gift in taking responsibility for that. There are some exceptions, obviously. Like, I need to throw that out there so people can get comfortable with that. And then there's also the Knight of Bows, the fox, which the gift of that is when you begin to navigate those prickly parts of your life with some grace and stealth, you create the opportunity to really explore this fertile ground. And with that, I really hope that you liked this. Thank you for listening. If you want to get a personal reading, go to oracle@mushin.com. I have a whole bunch of services there. I also do Reiki and coaching. And if you want 50% off of a service, you can go to oracle@mushin.com, sign up. I will put that link below. You'll get a 50% coupon off once you verify your email. You'll be signed up for the newsletter, which will give you exclusive email readings. It will give you flash sales and discounts, and some other little fun tidbits. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not going to sell your email or do any crap like that. I just really want to have a more direct way to contact you and let you know what's going on. And thank you for checking out my stuff, really. Have a blessed week, people. Peace.